go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran. Oh, the blue Terran player himself. It is a Percival. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is a Shameless. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our TvP. When it comes to the previous series, again, we saw that Yang Yakov, who was trying to play 2-base Roach, he went for a 2-base Roach all-in. He cut workers early at under 2-base saturation, and he was hoping that Solo would be a little bit greedier, but he wasn't. Right, Solo, he wasn't greedy. He droned up somewhat at his third base. I think he had like 4 to 6 drones at his third. That's it. And then he was focusing on Queen and Roach production from there. So Solo, he had a very comfortable defense, comfortable game. Took it from there, but now welcome back to Winter Madness. Welcome back, and we do have a very cheeky SCV. He does skirt around the edge, and we'll come in for the eBay block. Does come in for the block, and we'll look to delay the expansion of Shameless. No delay. Shameless moves down. Yep, too much progression. Shameless forced to expand at the third location. The unnatural natural out of Shameless. Aye, aye, aye. Forced to expand elsewhere. Oh, Percival, he blocks. Oh, God. Oh, no. That should not have happened. Yeah, that should not have happened. The SV blocks, and Shameless forced to expand the fourth location? Oh, boy. There's a cancellation. There's the refund. CC out of Percival. Percival looking very comfortable. And this is going to be a really awkward game here for Shameless. Winding it back here, on Winter Madness, I would say that the initial 3 and 4 base setup is safe. Talking about this natural, this third, and this fourth. But this low ground expansion, this alternative third expansion here is very exposed. It's down in the low ground. There's like 3 different angles of attack. Now, there are some choke points which will help, referring to this choke point here. This choke point here, like I will say that does help a little bit, but for the most part, it's gonna be an awkward early game here for Shameless. Very awkward. And again, the SV block at the third should not have happened there. So really awkward start. And again, we'll see if Shameless can actually stabilize. We'll see if he can actually maintain himself on 2 and 3 bases. Not gonna be easy. We'll see how Percival does approach. Yeah, this is getting to zone 1-1-1. Tech Lab is on the way. From here, we can add-on swap into Banshees. We'll see where Percival takes us. As Percival, he'll lose 1 Hellion, but Last Adepts are being hunted down. A nice kiting out of Percival. He pulls away, he takes on both Adepts. Ooh. Takes on both. Early tank production. Doesn't go for the swap. Ooh, this is hyper aggressive. As Percival, he's going for early tanks into the follow-up Tech Lab. He can build up to 1, 2, 3 tanks and push early on. Basically, Percival, he's delaying Stim. Or I should say, Stim is going to be much, much later here in comparison to the mass amount of Banshees and tanks. And this can lead into an early move out. Shameless getting some spotter pylons. Yep, first tank is already out. Second tank is on the way. Oh boy. And defending against a tank push here on the low ground is going to be crazy. Like, very easily, the tank can just wedge itself here in between the natural and the third base. How many Blink Stalkers? 3. So 3-gate Blink. 3-gate Blink out of Shameless. Going for the Prism. I think this is necessary. Basically, the Prism entails that Shameless is going to push. He's going to try to contain, but here comes the all-in. Like, here comes the early move out. Again, as we try to emphasize, really early tank production, early Banshees. Here comes the push out of Percival. Runs into Shameless. He gets one Stalker. Gets one already. Ay, ay, ay. The boys have arrived. Stalker's getting picked up. As Percival does move in. Yeah, moves in. Tank volley's going up. Massive tank shots on the Stalkers, and Shameless has nothing. Like, there's like, he's just crumbling here. Bleeding out Stalkers. As you mentioned, this tank positioning is brutal. Oh, Shameless bleed. Oh no, he'll lose 3 more Stalkers here. Barely has a standing army. He's going for the dive. The Immortal has arrived. Let's go. He can break the tanks. Gets one, gets both. Both tanks go down. Shameless, he's surviving. But we're still rallying. First, we're still just rallying across the map. Takes down the final Stalker. There's one tank left. Marines, they start to step in. They turn away the Prism, which means the Immortal is forfeit. Yeah, tank barely pulls away. And again, there's no defending this expansion. Like, no horror shot. No defending this base. Shameless does save most of his probes, true. Does save the majority of his workers. But Percival behind this, he's getting the Academy, throwing down extra Raxes. Stim is on the way, combat shields. The follow-up is here for Percival. GG gets called, and Percival takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, just a really brutal start there for Shameless. Winding it back, remember, Shameless, what happened? He was forced to take the unnatural natural at the forward third base location. It was brutal. The eBay block into the SCV block as well. That was almost game then and there. Like, like unironically, like that was brutal damage. Shameless forced to expand on the low ground, a very difficult base to defend early on, and of course, because Shameless was vulnerable, that is why Percival did decide to go for the all-in, decide to go for the early tanks, the early push. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. Oh, we're going to be loading into a map that I expected to be vetoed. We're going to be loading into the Old Republic. Now, this is a very different map. First things first, Shameless, he needs to be on top of that eBay block. He needs to make sure he does not get blocked again, make sure he can handle it, build up, and I do favor Shameless coming into this, but we'll get into the map itself. Spawning in the right-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. All because that warrior SCV. he was the MVP SCV. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's crazy. And with that, we're settling into game number 2. Coming into this here, welcome to the Old Republic. The Old Republic is a map that, I'll be honest, I'm very surprised actually made it into the top 16. Top 16 of TLMC. The Old Republic is a very difficult map to get a 4th base. Your initial 3 bases is fine, but the 4th base is insane. It's either here on the right hand side, which is very far away, also very open, or here on the low ground, which is also insanely open as well. We have seen many a player fail to defend their 4th. I don't think we've ever seen a successful defense. We've seen Maru fail to defend, we've seen Max fail to defend, we've seen Hero fail, we've seen Bjorn fail. Terran and Protoss players, depending on the matchup, they have a very hard time. Specifically here, I'm going to be favoring Shameless coming into this TvP if he can secure his early game. And so far, no eBay block. Let's go. No eBay block out of Shameless. And I'm curious to see the build of choice for Percival. Now, if you've been watching TvP, you'll know that TvP has had like 5 different metas in 2025. Like, TvP has changed and morphed so much this year. It is crazy just how often TvP does kind of shift and change and kind of mold around the maps and mold around the patch and then remold again, and it's been very flexible. Now, when it comes to the current meta here, we have seen 2 base all-ins and 2 base aggression die down. I know that we just saw it on Winter Madness, but that is only because of the early game, because of the block, and because of the base that Shameless was forced to take. In a standard game, that kind of play has died down quite a lot, and over the past couple of weeks we have seen more and more mid to late game in TvP. Percival has also kind of embraced that as well. I mean, all the Terrans have. Like, they've all kind of stopped and the all-ins have died down. We've seen more macro play instead, and we'll see if that's going to be the case here, because if that is true, then Shameless is going to have a very easy time gaining map control. So my eyes are on Percival to see how he does change things, how he does adjust, and how he's able to be aggressive, if at all. So typically in TvP, the way that the meta works, once we get into a longer game, is that the Protoss player gains map control, the Protoss player is able to mass expand, and it's going to be on the Terran to slowly turtle, get their 3rd, get their 4th base, and then max out with Bio Ghost Liberator, right? Like, we've been seeing a lot of that play in recent weeks. More than just Bjorn. Bjorn was doing this all year, now all the other Terran players are adopting that play as well. More so than previously. But that's when the map comes into play. That's when the 4th base is very difficult to maintain. So if we do end up slowing things down, if we do end up in a standard macro game, then Percival, he will struggle to maintain his 4th, or at least he should. For now, Widowmine drop. Widowmine drop out of Percival. There's no crazy fast tech lab into fast tanks, so already less aggressive. Already more macro oriented. But again, the rush distance by ground is a lot longer on this map. Ooh. As the Reaper is sniped. Here comes the initial Widowmine drop. First, what he's building up. What you have is a welding tool, everything needs to be blowtorch or something. Ah, no. So we go, drop into the natural. We'll see how quickly Shameless does react. First, he does boost in, and Shameless, he's in position. The boys are pulled away. What am I shot? Oh no! Oh my god. Yeah, very close, going for the sentry. Sentry goes down, nice pickup. The medevac will fall though. Yeah, a little bit too greedy as he gets away. No, that should not have happened. That should not have happened. I want to say that the Widowmine actually baited one of the shots on the Widowmine instead, and the medevac gets away with 4 HP. That should not have happened. Ay, ay, ay. Percival, he barely gets out, saves the Widowmine, and not a bad start out of Percival. He does barely get away. Barely pulls out. With Raven harass here towards the 3rd. Getting a couple of probes. Not bad, getting 4 probes going down. Nice damage out of Percival. Behind this, we have the Bay on the way, not Storm. So Shameless building up to Colossus. Building up. And Percival, he's building up towards the sim timing. We have stim, we have combat shields. Bearing in mind that Percival, he didn't make any tanks, so 0 tank production here. This is a heavy setup into Bio. And Percival, he should strike before the first Colossus arrives. Okay, let's go. Percival does snipe the Observer. Zones away Shameless. Shameless is expanding, getting his 4th base. Here we go, we have the Marine drop into the natural. Shameless, nothing in position here. The Colossus is on the way. And the main army is pushing. So far, going for the split push here. Marines, they get into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. Shameless trying to reactively warp in. And here comes Percival. Gets a Stalker. Ooh, he gets 2. Oh no. 3. Oh, that was a bit of a misstep there. 1 Stalker did get caught, did get trapped. Rough terrain. 16 probes going down, and Percival just pulls Shameless apart. Again, before we can even think about 3 and 4 base setup here, Percival, he just breaks on through, shuts down Shameless, and there's just nothing here. There's nothing here. Cells to full. And again, just a hyper-aggressive timing here from Percival. He breaks the base. GG! Nexus will fall, and Percival, he will take the series 2-0, ending the game early on the Old Republic. GG. Very fast series. Very fast series here, as Percival, he was able to punish Shameless in game 1 for going for the unnatural natural on the low ground, and here in game 2, Percival, he was able to gain a little momentum early on and then went for a very early stim and bio timing here. Again, 0 tank production. There were no tanks, there was no waste of resources on like banshees or anything like that. I mean, he did have the Raven harass, but just building up towards that early stim Marine Marauder stim timing, and was able to pull Shameless apart. Shameless, there was a lot of room to try to slow him down, but Shameless was distracted by the drop. He was warping defensively. He had less to micro against the main army, and he was just torn apart. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, we're getting ready here for the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5 between Percival and Solar. Let's go. Let us go. And again, that's I mean, it's a good way to kind of, which is what we expected, a good way to try to make use of the Old Republic in a different way. Remember, the Old Republic is a very, very difficult map to macro on for Terran and TvP, so avoid that entirely. Be hyper aggressive instead, and was able to break Shameless before we could even think about a 4th base. Here we go. And here we go. We're getting ready here for our next series. It's going to be a best of 5. Best of 5. Solar and Percival vetoes are underway. They're underway. And we're going to be going on a short break. Here. When we come back, we'll have the grand finals. If you enjoy the events, if you enjoy the broadcast, pretty fast games, actually. We've had a lot of really fast games. We haven't had too much macro in our series. But if you want to support us, you can do so via Matcherino, !Matcherino in the chat. If you want to support this tournament, you can boost the prize pool. Otherwise, a big shout out to Mark BT. Mark BT, he is the main contributor. He is the main sponsor of this tournament, of the Turtle Tussle. So thank you so much. Again, this is a bi-weekly tournament every fortnight. Every 2 weeks, we do have a Turtle Tussle. And again, it is designed to help, help out the scene, help out specifically the NA/Korean region. We did have some Europeans show up. We had some Americans as well. Players like Vindicta, players like Greenert. I say Americans, players from the Americas, I should say, as Greenert is from Canada. But GG. GG, well played. Oh. As we are going on a short break. We'll see you soon. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon.